In an earlier video, we drove the NIO EL6, but NIO says, hold my beer, we can go bigger, better, larger and more luxurious in this EL8. My name is Peter and this is, with Ride, the flagship of the NIO lineup. It's a 5 10, 2.5 ton animal with more than 600 horsepower, four-wheel drive and pretty much every luxury item you can imagine. And it is, I think, rightfully so, the flagship of the whole NIO lineup. Before we continue with the video and dive into this car, we started a Patreon page for Autogevoel, this channel, and also the Dutch channel that I do, Autogevoel. Video production is expensive and we like to make cool videos for you and like to keep doing that, so that is a place where you can support us. Now don't worry, we'll continue making the videos here on YouTube as you're used to, but the people that do support us on Patreon get some extras, get early access to videos and also a few exclusives. So if you want to, you can support us there. It is highly appreciated. 5 10 is quite the size of vehicle, but I think this car looks awesome. I think the proportions are just right, and I think NIO has done a good job in judging where to put the bulk of the car sort of here in the middle. It looks really nice. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is this kind of vehicle still acceptable altogether, or is it nice to look at or not at all? What do you think? I think it is a pretty good looking car. Obviously with this kind of size you run into the limitations of what's possible with parking and so on, but it does give you a ton of space on the inside and a lot of features as far as that goes, because there's so much volume and so much length to work with. So let's have a look at that. So at the moment you can see that we are in quite the traffic jam here on the Navi, and when we look out the window it is a similar story, of course. Luckily this NIO has automatic cruise control, and if we look at the driver's display you can see what the car is seeing. So the domes on the roof are there for a reason, meaning they're higher up and meaning they can look forward further. So you can see here in the middle of the screen that the car is looking forward quite a bit, and the green car in front of me, which is in real life actually a blue car, but that's the car that we're locked onto. So that car speeds up, we speed up, that car slows down, we slow down, all the way to a stop, and I don't have to touch the pedals at all. Because if there's one thing that I hate, is this constant change of speed, you know, 20, 30, 80, 30, stop, 30, stop. That's just terrible. So the ACC takes over completely. I could also put it in the full pilot mode and then it does the steering for me as well. But I deliberately don't do that because I want to keep steering, because it forces me to stay alert on the road. Now on the left you see the speed, 58, 57, and next to that the symbol for the cruise control that's turned on. The 80 in the green circle is the maximum speed that I've set, and with the controls here on the left of the steering wheel I can put that speed further down or further up. So you can see it's changing. So that's the maximum speed until which the cruise control will take it, and after that I can take over if I want to. And obviously the 100 in the red circle is the maximum speed here on this road right now. So the system is great, it works really nice. Like I said, I prefer to steer myself still, so I don't put it on the full pilot mode. But the ACC helps me to keep the distance to the person in front of me without any issues, and also prevents me from constantly having to brake and throttle, because that is just tedious and annoying in a traffic jam. I have noticed though, you can see that it's raining, that the wipers are on. When the rain gets too heavy, then the system actually warns you that it's now raining so heavy that it might be better to fully take over yourself. So that's an interesting one. There is a lot to see in this NIO, so I'm going to take you through the full inside tour. Starting here in the front, and there's actually not that much to see because it is physically pretty much exactly the same interior as the EL6 video that we did earlier. So we have the same minimalistic design, the same lack of buttons, but still the smart things like the drive select that have a button. The same display in the middle, same driver's display, everything the same. I quite like it. It's a nice design. It's calming in a way, and it's still modern and fresh, so that's good. The lack of buttons is workable. There's, you know, I always comment that I prefer physical buttons for things like the mirror control, and that is something that this car doesn't have, so I personally don't like that. And the same goes for the climate control. It is just annoying to have to fiddle with the screen constantly in order to change the temperature, and especially to change the direction of the airflow. There's better solutions for that, but NIO has gone for the full software integration, so that is where it is. We have the drive selector physical stalks behind the steering wheel still, so that is good. And the 3 buttons for your driving mode, your alarm, lights, and your locking and unlocking of the car are still here, so that's good. There's a giant bin under this sort of floating part of the center console. That bin needs more dividers because it's way too loose and it's slippery inside of that bin. So if you put anything like sunglasses there or a phone, it just slips and slides around, so that is quite annoying. They should put a divider in there, although I'm pretty sure you can probably get that on some aftermarket website. Here in the middle we have adjustable cup holders that also pop back up, so if you don't have anything in there, at least it's covered and nothing will fall in. And then with your bottle you can just press it back in and all is well. So that's actually kind of nice. We also have the dual side opening armrests, and that is your front side of the interior. I quite like it. It is nice and it's a pleasant place to sit, especially because it's such a large vehicle. It's good to have the overview out. And I also have a really good view rearwards actually. They've judged the magnification of the rear view mirror quite well, so I can still see through the car pretty easily. Obviously when you start putting people in the back, and especially in the third row, that view out is going to be obstructed. The biggest difference over the EL6 are the seats. These are a step up from the EL6, so these have massage function everywhere. They have dual zone cooling in the front for the driver. Heated, of course, 400-way adjustable, and you get the NIO head pillow. These clip on back here, and then you can be even more relaxed, I suppose mostly during charging if you want to take a little power nap, for example. But while driving I find them quite uncomfortable. I just want to have the normal headrest because, you know, I'm not sitting in a lounge chair in order to fall asleep, despite the excellent autopilot. So I prefer it that way. So that's your front interior. It's quite a nice place to be, and nothing really going wrong here, except the choices that NIO has made in terms of software solutions versus hardware solutions. You can always debate about that. We have a full panoramic roof that can open as well, with a cover that you can also close. That's actually quite nice. The interior is not too dark with this light gray. It's a lot better than black actually. And it doesn't really get claustrophobic in a car this size, but it is nice to have that option of all that extra light. So that is great. Obviously a little drive in this NIO EL8 as well. Currently we are in a bit of traffic jam on the automatic cruise control, relaxing and having a good time. Obviously I can't turn the radio on because of copyright, but rest assured that most of the time I'm driving, enjoying the excellent sound system, a little bit of massaging on the seat and a little bit of seat cooling, and I am happy with the cruise control set just so, and the air conditioning as well. And that is basically the summary of what you want to do with this car. This is an excellent travel vehicle. Put your kids in the back, put your washing machine even further back, Christmas tree, snowboard, ski boots, you name it, it fits because you have so much space. And it is a very pleasant travel vehicle with four-wheel drive, with all the power you'll ever need. It's quiet thanks to the double glazing all the way around. It's just such a pleasant place to be. Both my kids said it, my wife said it. I've been driving this car for a little over a week now, quite some distance actually, and it's such a pleasant vehicle to move around in, especially on the highway. Obviously, once you get off the highway, things get slightly more problematic because it is such a large vehicle that basically any city driving, any parking maneuvering, any tight space becomes cumbersome. There's no other word for it. It's so large that it just becomes hard to navigate. It's interesting that this car doesn't have four-wheel steering, for example. Something, that this car could definitely use, a car this size in general. Luckily you have a lot of cameras, so that helps. The outside mirrors, the side mirrors, are not as big as you might expect on a vehicle this size, so that doesn't really help. And sometimes even on the highway you have to take a second look to make sure that you've seen everything. Because you have to keep looking around this vehicle because it is so large, and especially in the city obviously it's hard to miss kids on bikes and so on, so that's important. Luckily you have all the ADAS and safety systems you can imagine, so that certainly comes into play there. Now, as much as this car is about the front and the tech, it's all about the rear seats as well. Now, there is a third row back there as well, which we'll get to in a second, but first of all, this second row is just an oasis of space and light. There's so much space. I'm now sitting behind the driver's seat. It's not fully in my position, but I can barely touch the seat with my feet. And with my 1 meter 83 and 90 kilos, it is more than ample. It is so much space. The seats and the materials are the same as in the front, and I've never seen this much electric adjustability in the rear. So not only are the seats electrically adjustable, I can also adjust the front seat for that full lay down relaxing feel. So when you're charging like we are now, you can lay back here and actually have a nap. It's amazing. The seats are also ventilated and heated, and there's a massage function in both seats. So yeah, everybody from your uncle, your grandma, kids, everybody is comfortable back here. It is really amazing. And this is of course where the length of the car really shines. The interior volume is so vast back here that it is comfortable for anybody. Any length, any size will fit here. There's a lot of luxury back here too. So I got speakers in the door, speakers in the ceiling, all around nice soft materials, basically all the same as in the front. And this middle console is also a sort of a bit of a puzzle of luxury. So I got some cup holders here that are covered if you don't use them, so that's nice. You can also lay something down there. The cup holders are slightly adjustable, but not that much, but okay. If I click this little button, then it slides out and it becomes a wireless charging pad for your phone. So then it extends out. If I put that back in, it is quite the unit, as you can see. It can't open up or anything. But if I go to the screen back here and I press refrigerator and open, then there is a refrigerator coming out from underneath where you can keep a couple of soda cans, a couple of bottles of water, maybe some snacks and such cold. So that's fantastic. That is such an additional bonus when you're on longer road trips with the family, that you can just have your drinks nice and chilled back there. Amazing. The floor, of course, is completely flat, and there is so much room between the central tunnel and this tunnel. It is like there's this much space. Because the tunnel floats, has an overhang, but stops on the bottom of the floor. It stops quite further forward, basically where the front seats end. So that means there's just a vast amount of space back here to move your feet around, which is excellent. And because you can't have a middle passenger, you can sit here in basically any position. There's really nothing to complain back here, except for the fact that it's all very gray, just like in the front. Even my pants are gray, to be honest, actually. So that might be a bit boring, but luckily you can play with the interior light quite a bit. And the fact that we have the panoramic roof really opens up this space even more. It doesn't get claustrophobic easily in a car this size, but the extra bit of light, it just has so much air and so much volume back here. It's actually quite nice. The distance to the front is also large, so it is sometimes a bit tricky to get a good connection with the front, and this car does not have like the intercom system, for example, that the Kia EV9 had. That's a similar sized car, but in general it's fine. There's a lot of information coming from the front. You can still see what's happening as a rear passenger. You can also see the big screen front, right and center. So, you know, that's all good as well, and you know, there's plenty of view out of these windows too. Overall, it's a very comfortable place to be back here for basically anybody. All around though, it is such a pleasant vehicle to drive. Like I said, it's quiet, it's refined, the quality in here is excellent. It's a very pleasant place to be. And overall, you want to drive this car in a relaxed way. There's no scenario where this car shrinks around you. So I've been driving it in the comfort setting most of the time. It's one of the several driving modes. You can go up to Sport Plus and utilize the full 600 something horsepower. And things do get quite jiggly and bouncy at that point. The power is amazing. Like a car this size and a car this heavy, you're literally ripping up the asphalt if you fully floor it from low speed. But yeah, it just gets too bouncy for my taste, and this car doesn't invite you to go like, let's go crazy. Not at all. It's a relaxing driving experience, and I think for me, leaving it in comfort mode most of the time makes the most sense. And when you do, I think you travel in considerable style. I think it's a good looking car, especially when you look at the competition. BMW iX, Audi Q8, Mercedes EQS SUV. Those kind of cars, that's the category that this car operates in. And I think if you look at those, I mean, there's a lot to choose, obviously, from the Germans. And this is a good looking car. I think it's probably the best one, the best looking one of all of those. And the proposition that NIO makes here, I think, makes a lot of sense, because those cars come with a certain image and a certain expectation that you might not associate with. And I think this NIO is a very viable option to those cars. And especially considering the space, the quality, the experience and all the tech that you get in this car, I think it's a very strong package. It's basically the same conclusion as from the EL6 that we drove in an earlier video. It's a strong proposition from NIO in that segment as well, and it's no different with this even bigger car. A few comments that are similar to the EL6 as well, because it's basically the same here in the front. So the ventilation in the screen is something I personally don't like. The little robot is not exactly for my taste either. That's why she's currently actually wearing headphones, because I turned her off, so she's not listening to us. But yeah, those are nitpick things, and I think if those are the only things wrong with the car, then NIO is doing a very good job. For me, it's too large. As you know, I'm in the market for a new family car. The EL6 would be more my kind of size, and also the price tag for this one in particular, but also for the EL6 is a bit too high for me. But this is just physically too large. I don't need this much space. But I think if you do, if you have a big family, or if you do require this amount of space, you know who you are. And then I think this is an excellent proposition from NIO to certainly test drive and consider. Now, getting in the back of this car is very easy thanks to the large doors to begin with, and of course thanks to the fact that there's so much length to work with, and the middle seat can go forward quite a bit. I'll press the button to put it back in position, because again, everything is electronic here. And there is so much space back here that sitting behind myself, you earlier saw how much space I have in this seat compared to the front seat, but I'm not even touching this seat with my knees at the moment. There's still this much space left. And I'm 1.83 m and about 90 kilos, and I fit back here. It's absolutely amazing. So this is not a place where you can put a few children under 5 with no legs. It's an actual space that fits adults. Really, really nice. And these seats can still go forward quite a bit more before it becomes uncomfortable for the passengers in the middle. Back here you have the same quality again as in the front, so nice seats. You have USB chargers, you have cup holders, headrests, seat belts of course, speakers. Everything is back here. Everything back here is quality and nice, the same as it was in the front. So that's really what you want. This is a place that is functional and usable, even for somebody my size, also for a slightly longer journey. So that is absolutely excellent, and I think NIO has done a really good job in utilizing the length of that car in such a way that this becomes an actual practical usable seat. Not only for kids, like I said, but also for adults. They've done the same trick with the center console here that they've done in the front. So the attachment point, the mounting points are quite far forward, and then it sort of slopes upwards a bit. That creates a lot of practicality here, but it also creates a lot of space back here, because I can still move my feet around over the entire length of the car without being blocked by anything. Obviously thanks to the fully flat floor as well, which means that I can sit here with myself side to side. Of course, we'll be touching shoulder to shoulder, but even that would be possible for a more than a short journey. So that is excellent. What's not so excellent is, of course, the space left over. If I look behind myself, there's about this much volume left in the boot. I wouldn't say it's completely non-existent, because you can probably fit a small cool box and a bunch of bags there, making it still very usable, but it's a trade-off that every third row car has. I mean, these seats can obviously go flat to create an enormous boot space, but when you put them up and fill them up with people, then clearly the boot space suffers. There's no way around that, because anything beyond that is basically going to be a full-size van. I'm pretty impressed about the usability back here though. It's very nice, and it's also the same, like I said, the same materials, the same comfort levels as in the front, also for adults my size. So that is really well done by NIO, making this space actually usable and deployable. Because when you have a car this size, you want it to be, you want maximum functionality at all times, and also you want that flexibility to be able to transport big things if you want. Put the seats down, everybody happy, put these seats forward, and you can go fully crazy in terms of boot space. But also if you need to transport people visiting, or if you want to go on a day trip with some friends with your kids, it's all possible, and you can really utilize this space. Well done. So we're not exactly pushing the limits of speed here at the moment, but when you do provoke this car a little bit, you immediately feel that it is a large and heavy vehicle. There's no way around it. Physics just works that way, and obviously NIO throws a lot of power and air suspension and everything else at it. Big tires, big brakes, but especially when, you know, long corners and hard braking, you feel the weight of the car, and there's no way around it. That's fine though. I mean, it's you can't hide what it is, and this is not a car that you buy as your next mountain pass attack monster. Despite the power and despite the performance, I think if you drive this car quite a bit under its limits, it is a much more rewarding and relaxing car to drive. And that's all I got for you in this video. I'm going to continue in the traffic jam enjoying some tunes. Hopefully you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if that's the case. I also want to mention again that we are on Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below. If you want to support what we do, if you want to help us make cool videos for you, then everything is much appreciated. And as perks, you get some early bird access to videos and some exclusive stuff as well. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers!